Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. On this World Freedom Day, is that what we call this now? I hope everyone is having a phenomenal day. We will get to the show in just over a minute. Five, four, three, two, one. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, live. Cool.
Welcome back, Fun Fam. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun. This is the Daily Dish. My name is Ron E. Bradley, and I hope that wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day today. Speaking of the day, as of the recording of this live show, it is 9/11, September the 11th. The year is 2024. It is almost unfathomable to believe that 23 years has passed since that infamous day in history, but that is the case. However, according to my the browser that I'm using, my Google Chrome, it's still operating like it operated in the year 2000. So yeah, my browser is certainly not working like it should in the year 2024. I don't know why. I wish I knew. Tom, I think I need you to come over to my house and check my laptop to see what all might be operating in the background that I can get rid of, because when I go to my task manager, it shows over 100 tasks running in the background, and I don't know, like, you go down Microsoft Office SDX helper. I'm assuming I don't need that. I don't know what is all of these things that are running in the background. I don't know what the heck it is that I need. I've got wild tangent service, and I never know if I stop something if it'll stop the entire show because I don't know how it relates to what I'm doing here. But maybe you can come and help me out with all this junk that happens to be running in the background, because I think if we get rid of that, this will be smooth. The only thing that I'm seeing right now, and this worked really well last week. I don't know why it's not working this week, but last week everything, the way I'm set up, seem to be running very smoothly, and then this week, I don't know, just not so much. Anyway, I just want to say hi to everybody coming in the door right here. We've got Little Mouse 27. Also, make sure that you leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Leave that like, subscribe to the channel if you're watching this now or on the replay and you haven't subscribed. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, and of course click that notification bell, because when you click it, you stick it to the YouTube algorithm and you're notified of all of our uploads here at Follow the Bradley's Fun. So there are a lot of you out there today. And also, if you are watching this on the replay, if you come in, watch this on the replay, make sure you comment below Replay Gang or whatever else other comment. Drop a comment before you head out the door, please. Little Mouse 27 says, hi, Nita is here. September 11th, super important. Me, I listen to 9 Friends and dozens of instances in the World Trade Center. Thank you for dedicating this to September 11th. Well, I mean, what else am I going to do? It's 9/11. Some other special things, and I'll go through those. There are a couple of special people in my life who 9/11 we've made mean something very different than what it is, generally speaking. So I'll talk about those in just a minute. Hey, Ron Gio here. I'm out and about today. Hope you'll have a good show. I was 10 when this took place. So yeah, never forget. But hope you have a great show. I was a little older than 10, and it seemed like the beginning of World War III. And in a way, I think it might have been the beginning of a world war that is going on in the background. That it's not the same as the Cold War, but it's definitely something. But it more seems like, it feels like a war of all world governments against all world people. If you get my meaning. I mean, it's all in the background, but it's like governments realized, oh, maybe freedom wasn't such a good idea for people, and they are trying to remove that from us over time. Weird, very weird. And my beautiful wife is here this morning. Good morning, Virginia. Bradley's Inventor C says, welcome to everybody. Dan's Life at the Kingdom says, good morning. God bless America. We'll never forget. Native Hawaiian says, aloha and morning, y'all. Gon Shogi says, good morning. And I'm not missing that gifted membership, Gon Shogi. We'll get to that in just a minute. Canadian Family Life, morning all. Good morning, Tiffany. Let's see, anyone else in the door? Nita Siebold, of course, says hi to all. Hello, Nita. Thank you for being here. Hola, Virginia. Yeah, it's going to cost you a cup of coffee. That's fine. I have one last little bag. So that's everybody in the door. But we also want to get to something we love to do here at the channel, and that is hold our celebration. And we already have a reason to celebrate. Obviously, we're always celebrating all of you. Let's see. Bessie Yay, that is Bessie Yay, YEH, was gifted a membership by Go and Shogi. Let us get to that. There, we'll put that on the screen. Okay. Seems to have everything. So this is what's going on with my browser, just so you guys understand. Everything is slowing up. It just seems to just crunch up and freeze. I used to know how to solve all of these issues back when I worked for the Geek Squad, but that was 2008, and times have changed. But there is the gifted membership. And before we get to more comments here in just a moment, the first thing that we want to do is throw down a celebration. Because I think the celebration is the one thing that usually seems to work okay on this stream. So here we go. Let's celebrate, everybody. Thank you for the gifted membership. Go and Shogi, thank you for your generosity. And also, this celebration is in reserve. So if there are more super chats, super things, super stickers, PayPals, or gifted memberships, or somebody becomes a member, we throw down this celebration to celebrate you, because you are the energon that gives us the energy to do the show every day. Here we go.
Is it too much? Too much? It's perfect! Wahoo!
Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, anticipation. It's making me mental. But if they say yes to be on the show, I think I will go so crazy.
Are we back? We are back. We are back. And Nita says, thank you. Always start getting bummed out today, about a month before something. Mr. Fulton Mraz says, Run! Me and my Hamilton County Special Olympics softball team, we have won our state softball game and back-to-back championships. I am the Hamilton County Special Olympics Athlete of the Month. So congratulations, big time, Mr. Fulton Mraz. That is awesome. We appreciate that. Appreciate the comment. Also, list hundreds of acquaintances. So scary and sad. We always commemorate September 11th. We'll never forget. I worked in the World Trade Center for many years. You know, there's an interesting thing. The World Trade Center, boy, it affected so many things. In pop culture, the biggest thing that I think is well known that it affected was the Spider-Man trailer. The very first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie was about to come out in the next year. Oh, I see Michael's Adventures is here. I didn't see you before. I got to say hi to Michael's Adventures. Sorry, I did not see that. Member of the channel, got to say hi. But yeah, when that Spider-Man trailer came out, and Rhonda H is here. Hello, Rhonda. I see you. Don't want to miss anybody. If I miss anybody in the chat, I'm so sorry. And after that Spider-Man trailer came out, the first Spider-Man trailer featured the World Center prominently because Spider-Man spun a big web between the two towers and caught a helicopter full of thieves. And that was the whole premise of the trailer. So after 9/11 happened, they had to pull that trailer completely. And it changed everything. So I don't know how many people remember that. I remember it well because I made sure that I saved the trailer somewhere. Nita Siebold. So my father was in the towers delivering. Left a half an hour before it happened. I grew up across the river. My view was the towers as a kid. Also lost friends that day. And then after, due to illness, that they were first responders. I mean, it was not, obviously not a good day. I remember what happened to me that day. I was living in Las Vegas at the time. So for me, it was super early in the morning, and I got a call from my parents, and they said, "Wake up! World War III just started." I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" And at the point that I had woken up, the first tower had been hit. It was on the news, and I think I turned to ABC. I can't remember, but turned on the TV. First tower had been hit. Smoke was billowing out of it. And then I was up and awake to watch live the second tower get hit. And it was weird. Like nobody knew what was going on. Obviously, we watched through the day to see what happened, and oh, you were in Vegas too. Oh, look at that. I was already at work at Ann Taylor at the Fashion Show Mall. If you lived in Vegas at that time, then the first part of this live stream, my introduction, you should recognize, because that commercial with me as the Skyscraper guy played on the regular at the MGM Grand. It played like every 3 minutes. There was this one time I went and I stood underneath it while I was playing. Nobody recognized me. It was funny. I mean, here I am standing on there's this giant Teletron screen. My face is 50 feet tall, and I was standing under it, and nobody recognized me. That's funny. Yes, Nina says, Tom, sorry for your loss. So frightening indeed. Yeah, it was crazy. So you were working at the Fashion Show Mall in Vegas. I was working as a gondolier. I was actually off that day. It was my regular day off, but I was working as a gondolier at the Venetian. And then I called in, and they just said, now yes, now you know where you've seen me. I was in a lot of commercials and stuff in Las Vegas at that time. All over the place. I did a lot of television work, a lot of acting work at that time. It's funny, but it's true. Yes, that is true. Yeah, it was dead quiet. It was weird for Vegas. So in Vegas, and I was a gondolier, I was told, obviously don't come in the next day for work and just call in. This is literally what they said. We don't know what's going on. Call in every day to find out if we're going to be open. And I think I want to say it was around the 14th or 15th, maybe the 16th, that they reopened. And then there were actually very few gondoliers that even wanted to come into work. So I did. I needed to come in, and I did. And then working as a gondolier was so hard, so weird, because people would come from New York, and we would tell stories. They would tell stories of what was going on for them that day. And you have to listen to them. And as a gondolier, I was technically playing a character, an Italian character. So it was just hard. It was hard to talk to people because I technically wasn't supposed to be myself, but you had to listen to stories and basically console people who wanted to get away from it all, because they were leaving New York, going to Vegas to be on vacation, to be away from all of that. And there it was. I still remember planes not flying for a week. Very clear, very blue skies. Yeah, it was like that. I want to get to there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about how it affected the parks. Well, look at this. Nita, thank you so much for your amazing generosity. We appreciate that here so much on the channel. It helps the channel move forward, obviously. God bless America. Thank you for commemorating this special day. Sad blessings. So I know it's sad. Let's talk about the blessings part. Let's talk about the good things that came out of 9/11 real quick. Before we do that, I have to throw down a celebration. This is an amazing super chat. Thank you so much, Nita. You're great, and I can't wait to see you again when you come back into town. It was so awesome meeting you in person, and I'm definitely looking forward to to reacquainting when you come back here, hopefully in October, right? I think that's when you're coming back. But in the meantime, let's see if I can technically get this to work and throw down an amazing celebration.
Is it too much? Too much? It's perfect! Wahoo!
Oh, this is so nice. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, anticipation. It's making me mental. But if they say yes, you can be on the show. I think I would go so crazy for it. Oh, and forgive me, past stage, suppose you could do better than that. No way. It seems to me that he would be a pretty decent guy, I must say.
Okay. Celebration time. Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Amazing super. God bless America. Yes, and thank you for commemorating this special day. But you know what? We're going to talk about something important to me. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to my good friend Tatum Shepherd, and she has a new last name, and I don't know where to look on any of my devices to find it real quick because she just got married recently, but today is also her birthday. She was born on 9/11. She is the daughter of Kelly Cash Shepherd. Kelly Cash Shepherd is a good friend of mine who was Miss America 1987, Miss Tennessee 1986 before that. Miss Tennessee, Miss America. Her daughter Tatum, whose birthday it is today, was also Miss Virginia a few years ago. And so I want to say happy birthday and a big shout out to her. Now, for those of you watching, if you are interested in Miss America and things like that, Kelly has agreed to be on the show. So at some point in time, that's going to be very, very cool. I just got to figure out when to, I want to have that one pre-programmed a while in advance because Kelly happens to be the great niece of Johnny Cash, and she knew Johnny very well. As you know, a relative, obviously, that's her uncle. I mean, to her, Johnny Cash was just Uncle Johnny. So, very, very cool. And I cannot wait to have her upcoming on the show. One of these Tuesdays, we're going to get her on. And so when that happens, I want to know in advance because I want you guys to share all of that out on your social medias. But another thing that happened, and this is really funny because my older son Zebediah brought this up to me last night. he and we've said this about him. I've known this about him before. Zebediah, who doesn't really like to get credit for a lot of things, doesn't want to be on camera a whole lot. It was his birthday on the 20th of June, and he was born 2002 on the 20th of June. And he kind of brought that up to me, figured out the math, and he's like, I don't remember how he asked it, but I was like, yes. He asked the question about being a 9/11, child. That was from my first marriage, and we'd only been married about a month. 9/11 happened, and of course we weren't. We were both out of work for a few days, so things happened. And 9 months later, he was born, and there you go. So Zeb is a 9/11 child, born on June the 20th, 2002. And we wanted to, when he was 8 years old, we got him baptized, and I wanted this date to be a different type of memorial for my family. So it was on this day that we got him baptized. And I think, let me see if I can bring this tab up and share this picture with you. Hopefully this works. Okay, so present, share screen. So yeah, it's things within the browser that seem to be working slow. I don't want to share any audio, but we're going to share this. And this is, I'm the bald guy in this picture. Yes, I was bald on 9/11/2010. This is 14 years ago. And the other tall gentleman next to me was my stepson at the time. Yes. And the little boy is my now 22-year-old son. And these are some pictures from when we got him baptized. And there he is getting ready to get baptized. Yes. And this is my stepdad, who was a minister at the time. And my stepdad actually performed the baptism. He, unfortunately, is no longer with us. But you can see the smile there on my son's face, and he was very excited. He was very sweet, very adorable. Yes. And this is one of the things you have to change the meanings of things sometimes. So for me, the meaning of September 11th, this day, is not just the Christianity of my son or my family or the baptism, but is what baptism represents. Baptism represents doing with your freedom what I believe people are supposed to do. We, gave himself over to the Lord that day, of course. Renewed his spirit, cleansed his spirit. And this day is about freedom. And I feel like it's unfortunate that our freedoms in this country feel like they have been getting reduced since that time. Obviously, it reduced a lot of our freedom. You guys ever watch Star Wars? Can we bring up Star Wars for a second? In Star Wars, and this is really funny because the story of the not the original trilogy, but the prequel trilogy was happening at this very same time. 2002 was when the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, came out, and then 2005, the Emperor says, in the name of security, we are going to organize the Republic into the first galactic empire. And the line that Natalie Portman gave was, "This is how democracy is destroyed," to great applause. And it's mirroring so much what happens to be going on in this country today. You don't need a singled out group of people to happen like what happened in Germany, back in the 30s. No, it's not happening that way. No, it is not happening that way at all. What is happening is that our freedoms are being eroded. With 9/11, we saw that security went way up at airports, and we all just kind of go along with it, and it's fine because it's usually just a moment of our day when we go into an airplane or whatever. That is simply very quick moments of our day, and and same thing entering a theme park. That's a very quick moment of our day. We go through the security, we won't think about it. But then the year 2020 came along, and our freedoms were overwhelmingly eroded in the name of security again. But this time it was against an invisible attacker, a health scare. There are 8 billion-ish people on the planet, and this health scare, it took the lives of millions, but it wasn't anywhere near like the Spanish flu in the early 1900s. It's just, when I see these kind of things happen for myself, I just think, we're supposed to be a free country. What should have happened, we should have been given suggestions and guidance, and then be left on our own to take those suggestions and guidance and do what we wanted to with them. They were acting in that day and age in 2020. They started to act like breathing killing them. That is a superpower. That is fiction. That does not exist. You cannot breathe on somebody and kill them. That's impossible. Are we supposed to say unalive them? I don't know how that works. I mean, you gotta face the reality, right? I mean, you cannot breathe on somebody and unalive them. That is a superpower. Oh, thank you, Nita. I understand. Watch the replay. We're getting ready to talk about the things that happened at the parks that day, and that's and we're actually getting ready to share a really good story about thousands of lives that were actually saved that day. I hope, Go and Shogi, I hope, because there are people like Russell Brand who woke up during this period of time. There are people like Gina Carano who woke up during this period of time. There are definitely people that woke up during this time. I want to share real quickly this last photo of my oldest son, because this was right after. I just think he's cute in this photo here. And thank you so much, Nita. And if you're still with us, we want to say bye for now, but we will see you later. But I do want to get to this story real quick. Before we get to this, oh goodness gracious, he's such a cutie there. Before we get, we're just going to share. Go and Shogi drop the membership. Nita dropped this extra special super. Thank you so much. And before we move on, let's just play the quick version of that celebration, because this is a lot to celebrate today.
Is it too much? Too much? It's perfect!
Oh, this is just the best of my scene. All right, cool. Uh, hey, the Bud Files is here. Good morning, people. We are getting to our next story, and that is something that happened here in Orlando that saved a lot of lives on September the 11th, 2001. And let's see if I can bring this up on the screen in the way that I want to. I want you guys to see this big. So let's see here. This is I think this is out of clickorlando.com. And there it is. It's funny. I have to wait until I can see it. It's funny because I don't think I think that I'm still like live okay on the screen there, but my browser is frozen, so I can't, even though the StreamYard seems to have brought it up, and because I can see it on the monitor over here, my browser is frozen. It's really kind of weird. I wish you guys could see. I can't turn the camera around to show you, but I have to wait until my browser unfreezes. Now there's a little circle thing going around, and now it's unfrozen. There it is. Okay, so now I can see it. Orlando Airport inspector credited with denying entry to the 20th hijacker of 9/11 terrorist attacks. Now, this was published on September 9th of 2021, updated on September 10th of 2021, and it appears to be written by Maris Badcock, investigative reporter for News 6. Orlando says it was a gut feeling, Jose Melendez Perez says. And if it will let me use this tab, that would be great. Yeah, no, it's not. Not yet. Not yet. There it is. All right, so here we go. Some might call it a hunch or an instinct, the supernatural moment that stops you in your tracks. Jose Melendez Perez knows the feeling. After all, it was a gut feeling Melendez Perez had 20 years ago, now 23 years ago, that some believe changed the course of history and saved thousands of lives. Quote, that day, as long as I live, quote, I will remember how everything unfolded, end quote, Melendez Perez said. Weeks before the 9/11 attacks on August 4th, 2001, Melendez Perez was working as an immigration inspector at the Orlando International Airport, conducting secondary screenings. That day would have been otherwise uneventful. Except on that day, Melendez Perez met a man he says gave him the chills. Now, I have never heard this story before today. I found it early this morning as I was researching for today's show. So I don't know if you guys have heard it or not, but you can let me know in the comments if you happen to have heard this story before or not. Let me know in the chat. So he says, the first thing that came to me was that he was a hitman. He was well dressed in all black with a military haircut. He kept looking into my eyes with his little black devil eyes. I thought something is not right, Melendez Perez says, but I did not know what it was because his passport is good. His visa was good. The man was a Saudi national who had not properly filled out his customs paperwork and claimed to not speak English. So, per protocol, he was sent to secondary screening for an interview with Melendez Perez. You're just going to keep giving me issues throughout, aren't you? Let me see if I can scroll. All right, so he says, this guy was staring at me, giving me this dirty look, and I say, something's not right with this individual. The first question I asked was, why don't you have a return ticket? By law, you were supposed to have a return ticket. The Saudi national answered, "A friend of mine is coming and he will take care of it." What is going on? Okay. So the friend of mine is coming. He'll take care of it. The man told Melendez Perez. And how long have you known this person? Melendez Perez asked the man. The man told him a week. And a week. So you've known this person for a week, and he wants to buy you an $1,800 ticket? That did not make any sense. That was the first flag, Melendez Perez says. Investigators now know that Melendez Perez was questioning Mohammed Al-Qahtani, a Saudi national who was later identified as the 20th hijacker in the 9/11 attacks. At the time, however, all Melendez Perez could do was trust his gut. The more question I asked, the fewer possible answers that I could believe at that time. He would not tell me the name of his friend. At the same time, Melendez Perez was questioning Al-Qahtani, the lead hijacker of the 9/11 attacks, Mohammed Atta, was at OIA waiting for someone to arrive. Investigators said Atta even used an airport payphone to dial a number later associated with the terror attacks, concerned about his missing passenger. While Atta waited, Melendez Perez discovered that Al-Qahtani did not have a return ticket, did not have a hotel reservation, had $2,800 in cash, and could not provide an explanation for his visit. When I was asking him questions, he got upset. He got rude. Melendez Perez said, "When I came out of the interview room, I told my supervisor, this guy is like, he's challenging me." Despite his gut feelings, the red flags would not have been enough for Melendez Perez to deny entry to a Saudi national who, according to Melendez Perez, faced little scrutiny going through customs. I am not sure how it is now, but back then, they were almost untouchable. They are allies, they got the money. When Melendez Perez put Al-Qahtani under oath, the Saudi national refused to answer questions. Legally, that was enough. When I took him to the gate, he turned to me and another immigration officer and said in English something to the effect of, "I'll be back." 5 weeks later, so this all happened 5 weeks before the 9/11 stuff. 5 weeks later, when the first plane hit the first tower, that gut feeling came back. We were watching as the second plane came crashing, and the first thing I did was to call the airport. I called them and said, "Pull the file from Al-Qahtani and give it to the FBI." Investigators now believe Al-Qahtani was supposed to be among the hijackers of United Airlines Flight 93, the one destined for the U.S. Capitol. Instead of hitting their target, however, the plane crashed into a Pennsylvania field. So that was the flight where the passengers said, "Let's roll," and they helped take that down so that they prevented another crash anywhere else. While the other planes had 5 hijackers, Flight 93 only had 4. That 5th person could have made a difference in power, Melendez Perez said, who did not even learn about the role he had played until 2004, when he was asked to testify before the 9/11 Commission. "Your actions may have well contributed to saving the Capitol or the White House and all the people who were in those buildings," 9/11 Commission member Richard Benveniste said at the time to applause from the crowd, which included families affected by the 9/11 attacks. "For that, we all owe you a debt of thanks and gratitude." 20 years later, that moment still makes Melendez Perez emotional. "When I was at my deposition, I had no idea that is how people were going to respond. Some might call him a saint, others might call him a hero or a lifesaver, but Melendez Perez calls it his purpose. I was just doing my job. Today, when a Customs or Border Patrol employee does something outstanding like thwarting a terrorist or helping prevent an attack, they can receive an anti-terrorism award named in part after Inspector Jose Melendez Perez. Al-Qahtani was captured in the Battle of Tora Bora and later detained at Guantanamo Bay, cited as the first detainee to reveal the name of the pseudonym of Osama bin Laden's courier, who eventually led the CIA to bin Laden's hideout roughly 10 years after the attacks. Al-Qahtani was charged with war crimes related to 9/11 attacks, but his charges were ultimately dropped after it was revealed Al-Qahtani's interrogators tortured the 20th hijacker. Whatever. Al-Qatani is still detained at Guantanamo Bay. So apparently, I don't know, this was 2021. Apparently, he still sits at Guantanamo Bay to this very day. It is just kind of wild. Recommendation. That's funny. He was, okay, so he was great. He was released in 2022. That's well, that's not good. What's up, Manny Uncanny? Good to see you in the house. Good to see you in the chat. We are remembering 9/11 today, and we were moving on to the next story. And that is how, and we may not get to the last story. We get to this story because this is about what happened here. And so I want to put this on the screen. Sorry about that. Pardon me. We flew him back to Saudi Arabia. Well, I know what should have happened on that flight that didn't. All these stories still give me chills. Yeah. I'm trying to prevent myself from tearing up because as a very much of an adult on that day, I remember it as if it were yesterday. And it changed the course of all of our lives. I don't care whether, there's a lot of conspiratorial theories about different things about the day. None of that matters. What matters to me is how it affects my personal life, and it has affected all of our personal lives going forward. It was kind of nice for a little bit of time after that the country sort of seemed to come together. But yeah. At that point in time, of course, being in Las Vegas, I had no idea that my life would end up taking me to Florida. Yep. That's how it was in Vegas at the time, where there just weren't a lot of people coming on the boats. Just not a lot of people coming on the boats when I was a gondolier. 9/11 at Walt Disney World, a day that changed tourism forever. Impacts of 9/11 on what is now called the most magical place on earth are profound. And right now, we are not talking about since 2020. We're just talking about the effect that 9/11 had. So I kind of want to make that clear because, yeah, obviously a lot has changed since 2020 as well. Since kicking off our 50 Days of 50 Years series on August 12th, and this was the Channel 6 Click Orlando. By the way, this is out of Click Orlando. This story is by Ken Pilcher, a producer. It says nearly all of our pieces have featured an over-the-top array of colorful images, photos, artwork from my archives. This one will be different. The morning of September the 11th, 2001 started uneventfully at Walt Disney World at 8:46 a.m. when the first jet slammed in the World Trade Center. Guests were already inside the Magic Kingdom and were starting to funnel into the other three theme parks. For the first few minutes, the crash in New York appeared to be an accident. A naive notion dispelled the instant the second jet hit at 9:03 a.m. America was under attack. Not long after, word funneled in about the crash into the Pentagon. Flight 93's downing in Pennsylvania, and as passengers fought back. Disneyland and its brand new sister park, California Adventure, never opened that day. In the chaos of that morning, Disney executives were facing the unknown, and even before the FAA ruled all planes must land and the airspace cleared coast to coast, they announced on ABC all Disney parks worldwide would close. Less than 5 minutes later, that word filtered up to area and attraction leads, security, and all other cast members. For the first time in memory in Florida, a parks-wide announcement abruptly broke through the area music that helps cast a spell each day. Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, Walt Disney World is now closed. Please follow the instructions of cast members and move to the nearest exits. It was only the second time a national emergency shut down Disney parks. The first was the unaliving of John F. Kennedy in 1963, long before Walt had even started scouting land in Central Florida. How unprecedented was this closure? For its first 28 years, Walt Disney World never closed its gates for a full day, though the Magic Kingdom and Epcot did close several hours early for Hurricane Elena on August 31st, 1985. Hurricane Floyd closed theme parks and water parks early September 14th, 1999. September 11th, 2001 was only the third such event. Of course, we now know closures at Walt Disney World are no longer unprecedented. Still, when the emergency was declared, detailed procedures were in place to clear the parks. Cast members were told to form human walls to link hands and systematically sweep and empty parks full of guests at once. Most guests were not told why. My dear friends Steve and Beth Shorten were on vacation from New Jersey that fateful day, staying at the Wilderness Lodge for their 5th wedding anniversary. In a 2013 remembrance on her blog, Beth wrote, in part, I had managed to secure us a spot as the Flag family, so on September 11th, we were up early. We needed to be in the lobby and ready to go by 7:30 a.m. A cast member took them up some stairs to the roof of the resort. Beth adds, the view was incredible. It was a beautiful morning. Steve was the one who raised the first flag, the American flag. We raised the state flag, the Walt Disney World Park flag, and the 2 flags that were for the hotel. I snapped as many photos as I could. And there's some of the 2001, one of the 2001 photos from Beth. Steve and Beth Shorten topped the Wilderness Lodge shortly before the attacks. They were in the Magic Kingdom's Liberty Square when the park was closed, somewhat aware of the plane crashes, but not the implications that was to come. That came when a park-wide announcement called on cast members to carry out Emergency Plan A. Beth added, there were cast members lining the streets, and some of them were not in costume, but must have been from the corporate offices. They were wearing suits, something you don't see on Main Street, USA. We took a boat back to our hotel. It was a long process, but orderly. With all the parks shut down for the day, we spent the day at our hotel. We watched the news in disbelief, as the rest of the nation did. It is understandable that I don't recall much else of our vacation. So, yeah. I have heard over and over from both guests staying and cast members working on those days praising how well Disney made the most of a truly horrific situation. And I would imagine that back then, that was under Eisner, I believe at the time still. And it was a different Disney World than what we currently have today, although I'm sure that as far as security protocols and those types of things, if a similar situation were to happen today, it would probably be very similar as far as what goes on at Disney World. Yeah, security was definitely tight after that. There's something I need to check here real quick, because I don't think that I I don't think I've rerouted yet to Culture Casino. And I want to do that for you guys. And for Culture, let me check real quick. One of the things that I do want to do, though, before we head out the door today, we've had much to give thanks for and much to celebrate. Go and Shogi gifted a membership. And then Nita, of course, with this amazing super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that more than you know, Nita. And for that, while I am trying to see if I can redirect this, let's see if we can redirect this while we throw a little party here to celebrate those. All right, let's celebrate.
Is it too much? Too much? It's perfect! Wahoo!
Oh, this is so nice. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, this anticipation is making me mental. But if they say yes to the other show, I think I would go so crazy for it.
Oh my goodness gracious, guys. So this is interesting. So of course, when the time comes that you need to do something very quick, that's when YouTube decides to ask that you need to verify. So I go onto my tablet and oh, come on. Come on, YouTube. Do better. Do not see here. But I'm still going to try it. And let's see if I can redirect this while I'm in the background. It's so funny because when I look at my camera, I'm so smooth. I'm like, I want smoothness that I see when I look at my camera. And unfortunately, it's clear when I look at my screen over here that you're not getting that. And it's so bothersome to me because it's like I have set everything up the way they tell you to set up to do this. And it just gosh, I wish it was. I just wish. I've always been one of those people that gets very frustrated by people by things that don't work the way they say they're supposed to work. If you say something's supposed to work a certain way, just do it. Just make it work. It's not my job to make that work. It's your job to make it work, guys. Come on, not you in the audience, obviously, but the companies that make this product that we pay for. It thousands of dollars for this stuff. You know, when you pay that much money, you want it to work right. And I don't know if it's a StreamYard issue, if it's the way StreamYard works with this particular browser. You would think because Google owns YouTube that it would all work out together. But I know this is up there, and I'm going to try to make this work real quick. So let me see if I can find this. Keep chatting amongst yourselves. And we're just going to save that. And that should do it. Okay. I am back. I am here. If it has wheels or electronics, it will give you problems. I just really wish that it wouldn't. I mean, is it that, like, I'm seeing the stream on my tablet going out and the picture's not even clear. So, and every time I write to StreamYard, I never get anything back from them. I never get feedback. It's weird. If I can figure out, don't do that. But here's the thing. Before we head out the door, if you haven't already, if you could please give this video a like. The picture is jumpy, so you could jump the like if you want. Obviously, if you haven't already, subscribed to the channel and click that notification bell, because it's when you click it, YouTube algorithm, and you get notified of all of our uploads and live streams and everything else that we do here at Follow the Bradley's Fun. And maybe not all this equipment works right. I don't have thousands of dollars to spend on this kind of stuff. I wish I did have thousands, but I do not. I am, I'm very grateful for any funding that I get from you guys, because it all goes to try and make any improvements that I can here. And I am not sure that this is even a laptop issue as much as it is. There is definitely something going on with the browser. And I'm going to see what happens if I can. I'm a rich actor. I am a very poor actor. But I do want to thank you guys so much for coming in. We are going to send you right over to Culture. It is 10:40. I want to have one mini celebration as we go out the door.
Is it too much? Too much. It's perfect.
Oh, this is just the best of my scene. I'm back. Yes. Thank you guys so much for coming here. And until next time, we will see you real soon. Tell Culture you came right in from a rating from Follow the Bradley's Fun. And we'll see you soon, everybody. Ciao. Bye. Have a great rest of your day. And let's remember and never take our freedom for granted. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you real soon. Ciao.